Hi, this is Hollis, and I'm here to tell you a little bit more about the Kestrel 4500 weather meter I've been testing here at For All Outdoors. I've been taking the Kestrel all over the place, up in the mountains, out in the trail, but I've also used it in a few other interesting ways that I wanted to tell you about today. One of the ones I got some weird looks while I was traveling, I was in an airport on the way out to California, and all of my fellow travelers were complaining about how hot it was in the terminal, and so I was actually able to tell them how warm it was right there. It was above 85 degrees Fahrenheit, and we actually, using that, were able to tell people at the airport that there was a problem with the air conditioning, and they were able to see whether it was working. So that's one thing that I've done with this. I used it when I was out in San Francisco. There's a built-in compass in the Kestrel 4500, and I used that to check and see what direction I was looking, because I was turned around and I wasn't quite sure where I was. I wasn't there for a hiking trip, so I hadn't planned and brought a compass, so it was a useful little thing to have for that. I've also used it in teaching contexts. I do a lot of training out in the community, and making sure that my students are comfortable is a really important thing. And just like in the airport, I've used this a lot to check about what the temperature in a room is doing and how it's changing over time. So if people are feeling comfortable or uncomfortable, I can use the Kestrel to help myself keep the room the way it should be for their comfort. And that includes, if we turn the air conditioning or the heater on, lets us tell how quickly everything is working. The last thing that I've used the Kestrel for recently is something that's a little bit unusual. When I'm not testing backpacking gear, I do something else that starts with B. I'm a professional bagpiper, and I did some gigs recently, and you might not know this about bagpipes, but the environment matters a lot for them because they're a reed instrument like a clarinet or an oboe. And so temperature and humidity are both really important. And I used the Kestrel meter at my last gig. We had a rainstorm coming on, and I used it to track what the temperature and humidity were doing over time, which helped me to make sure that my pipes stayed in tune for the whole gig, because I could set them in advance and predict sort of where they were going to go. And it helps make it a little faster to get them sounding great for the gig. So I've been really happy with the Kestrel. It's very versatile, it's light, it's durable. I pretty much carry it in my bag everywhere I go, and it's just when I'm going out on the trail, I switch which bag it goes in. I really like them. They're very versatile. Totally recommend it. Thanks. This is Hollis for For All Outdoors.